concerts, hard rock, hip-hop, theater, Broadway. He's got them all. And if he don't have them, there ain't none. I'm telling you. SmoothTickets.com. Once again, that's SmoothTickets.com, or give them a call at 404-374-1150. Once again, that's 404-374-1150. You got to tell them, though, that I sent you. You got to tell them that Doug Stewart sent you. Once again, SmoothTickets.com. That's SmoothTickets.com. Yeah!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
The #1 Chief Rocket Jersey firm.
Lonely Hearts Cafe.
Spicy conversations.
It's Vince Wright, the sports governor from Minnesota.
Man, DeLeon.
Microwave.
Reggie Long, a.k.a. Dollars and Cents.
Kicking it with KC.
Let's go, give it to you. Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
It's either a stumbling block or a stepping stone, and I know who this team is. I don't need anybody to tell me who they are. I know the heart of this team. I know exactly who they are, and I know how they'll respond. Y'all have heard me say many times, hey, we're built for moments like this when we've had some big wins and some big moments. Well, guess what? We're built for these moments too. We're built for these moments just as well.
That was Dabo Swinney. Damn you, Dabo! Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday, Ballers and Busters. Game Balls and Goats are brought to you by FireFan.com. That little clip you just heard was Dabo Swinney, head coach of the Clemson Tigers. As they go down, boy, to the Pitt Panthers, man, 43-42. And you knew it was going to happen at some point, man. Clemson has just been having these close calls seemingly week in and week out. And it's crazy because Deshaun Watson gets an ACC record for passing yardage. Man went 52 for 70, 580 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 bad interceptions, though, man. I watched this game. The last interception that he threw, they were in the red zone probably on like the 10, 15-yard line. He throws an interception, dude just waiting for the ball. All they needed was a field goal there to make the separation, the point distance, 10 points, which they would have won. You know, he throws the interception, and Pitt goes down, and they score. Just a horrible, horrible interception. And it catches up with them, man. The Clemson Tigers go down, their first loss in 2 years, regular season loss in 2 years, man. Absolutely horrible. Dabo Swinney, they had an opportunity at the end of the game, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. They had an opportunity at the end of the game to extend the drive, to keep the ball out of Pitt's hands, and they run a toss sweep. A freaking toss sweep. to Wayne Gallman. Pitt strings it out, makes the stop. They take over the ball, and the rest is history, and they go up, man, and they win 43-42. Very, very bad loss. Upset weekend this was. Speaking of upset weekend, the Michigan Wolverines, they get upended by the Iowa Hawkeyes. What? Yeah, Michigan loses this year. The number 3 team, Michigan Wolverines, they go down to the Iowa Hawkeyes in the Big Ten. C.J. Beathard, quarterback for Iowa, 8 for 19, 66 yards, 1 TD. The running back for Iowa, Wadley, 23 carries, 115 yards. So Michigan goes down from the undefeateds as well. And then the other big loss, man, the Pac-12's Washington Huskies go down to Pac-12 foe, the USC Trojans, 26-13. And so all the naysayers about Washington and how they weren't legit have a lot to argue about as they go down in one of their first real matchups this year. Even though USC really didn't seem like that good of a team, but they are USC. They get the best talent in that part of the country. And they go on the road and beat Washington at Washington. A lot of people suspect that Washington's going to drop out of the college football playoffs. Obviously they are. But how far will they drop? We'll talk about the AP here in a second. A couple other interesting scores from this past weekend in college football. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, brought to you by FireFan.com. Alabama puts them things on Mississippi State, 51-3. Ohio State dominates Maryland, 62-3. And don't look now, but Ohio State is putting everything together. Damn you, Ohio State! Louisville stays on track, beating Wake Forest 44-12. Wisconsin dominates Illinois. Poor Lovie Smith. 48-3. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Y'all remember early this year when we talked about Lovie Smith and, obviously we want to see a black head coach do well, and Lovie got done wrong in Tampa Bay, and everybody came in here and I remember the show. A lot of the Stewies was like, Lovie Smith's going to do big things in Illinois. Look here, man, it ain't that easy. Illinois football sucks for a reason. I don't care if you Tony Dungy. I don't care if you Vince Lombardi, man. You're just not going to go into Illinois and just snap your fingers and win football games. So it's kind of tough on Lovie Smith right now. I think they have 1 win on the year. They may not even have that. Very, very tough. Georgia gets it done. Their biggest win of the year, signature win, 13-7 over Auburn. Rodrigo Blankenship kicked 2 fourth-quarter field goals. Maurice Smith returned an interception for a touchdown, and Georgia's defense shut down number 8 Auburn in the second half to beat the Tigers 13-7. Ball award to the Georgia Bulldogs. Kirby Smart gets a good win. Yeah. The loss ended Auburn's Southeastern Conference Championship hopes and knocked the Tigers out of consideration for a spot in the playoff. Auburn had been in control of its hopes to win the SEC's Western Division with 1 conference game remaining at number 1 Alabama. Instead, Alabama clinched the division. Auburn was held to 32 yards with no first downs in the second half and 164 yards overall. Georgia earned its biggest win of the, once again, first-year head coach Kirby Smart. The Bulldogs controlled the clock on 2 fourth-quarter field goal drives of 13 and 14 plays. So big win for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. Ball award to y'all once again. Yeah. And don't look now, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech gets its most impressive win, man, on the road beating Virginia Tech. Justin Thomas on the sideline with an injury. Backup quarterback Matthew Jordan came in and rushed for 121 yards, 2 touchdowns to lead the Jackets to a 30-20 upset of number 14 Virginia Tech on Saturday. Ball award to them Yellow Jackets. Yeah. Yeah. Marcus Marshall, Keith's little Bubba. Marcus Marshall added 143 yards rushing and a score for the Yellow Jackets, who rushed for 309 yards. This also makes Georgia Tech bowl eligible. Once again, Georgia Tech is winning or going to another bowl. Good for them. Paul Johnson makes it to another bowl. The obvious big talk, though, in college football this past weekend, man, it was those upsets. Washington goes down, Michigan goes down, and Clemson goes down. Those were 3 of the 4 teams from the college football playoff rankings that held one of those top 4 spots. So here's how the AP looks at it after the big upsets from this weekend. Michigan drops 2 spots to number 4. So the AP still has them in their playoffs right now. Louisville goes up 2 spots from number 6 to number 3, or number 5 to number 3. Ohio State jumps 4 spots all the way to number 2. And Alabama, obviously, with the drubbing of Mississippi State, stays at number 1 at 10-0. At number 5, the Clemson Tigers drop 2 spots from 4 to 5, or from 3 to 5. And Wisconsin goes up 1 spot to number 6. So these teams are still in play. Here's the problem with it, though. If you're a team, where does Washington drop to in the AP? Washington drops all the way to 7. They drop 3 spots. A lot of people don't believe in the Pac-12 for good reason. You can make the argument. So Washington drops 3 whole spots to number 7. Here's the problem with it. If you're the Clemson Tigers, or not if you're the Clemson Tigers, if you're the Washington Huskies. Washington is in the Pac-12 North Division. So they are actually in position. And I don't know if they still play Washington. There's so many variables with this right now. But Washington State right now is leading that side of the division, that division of the conference at 7-0, followed by Washington, who's 6-1. They still have to play each other, I believe. And then on the other side of the ticket, you have USC, who's at 6-2, and Colorado actually leading the Pac-12 South. So Washington could still, win their division if they get a win over Washington State and take on the winner out of the Southern Division in the Pac-12, either being USC, Colorado, and a win over USC after they just lost would be a great win. And winning the conference in general would be a great thing. So I think Washington's still in play. Louisville and Clemson in the ACC, though, is kind of tricky because Louisville right now is leading the Atlantic Conference, the Atlantic Division, with a 7-1 record. Clemson is 6-1, but Clemson beat Louisville. Then you can make the argument, well, Louisville really didn't have any good quality wins outside of beating Florida State, and they beat the hell out of Florida State. And then their other quality, not even a win, their quality game was a close loss on the road at Clemson. But right now, only one of those teams are going to represent the ACC. Okay? So Louisville is in the driver's seat right now. If they win out, they'll win the Atlantic Division of the ACC, and they'll take on the Coastal Division winner, probably right now Virginia Tech at the top, or University of North Carolina, both with 5-2 records. So very, very twisted scenario in the ACC. There's so many different variables on who's going to get one of these top 4 spots. I'm telling you right now, they're trying to find a way to get Ohio State in there. Even though Ohio State's got that 1 loss, Ohio State's number 2 right now in the AP. And hey, I'm not going to say Ohio State couldn't beat Alabama, or Alabama would be favored against any team in college football. And you listen to the Doug Stewart Show, but Ohio State is Ohio State. They got a squad. I would love to see Louisville get a shot in the playoffs. Right now, they got a spot based on AP. We'll see what the playoffs say, the playoff selection committee. But very, very, very twisted ordeal in college football, man. What are your thoughts on what you saw this past weekend in the world of college football? Incredible upsets, man. Yeah. Man. I think Clemson is going to be okay possibly too. The problem with Clemson is if they don't I don't know. They kind of left it in everybody else's hands. Before they dictated the outcome. Now they got to hope for some other things to happen ahead of them. But they're right there at number 5 in the AP. Can't wait to see what the College Football Selection Committee has to say about it. later on today. All right, when we get back from the break, man, we'll wrap up today's show. I'll read more of your chat messages, and we'll get out of here, man. Don't go away. The Doug's